Look at the woman you want to be, not at the woman you are. The woman you are today is just an unrefined version of who you're meant to be. And so we have to stop making decisions based on who we are and start making decisions based on who we are going to be and who we want to be. You're lonely. That's why you clicked on this video. You have a sense of loneliness. You don't feel complete. You feel like there's something missing. You've been feeling alone majority of your life. You feel like no one sees you. You feel like no matter what you do in life, you're just overlooked. No one really pays attention to you. No one really chooses you. And so you want to be chosen. You want to be picked. You want to be liked. You want someone to see you as you and actually want you. That is a normal feeling. Human beings always feel like that. We want to be seen. We want to be chosen. We want to be picked. We want to be loved. Human beings thrive off of company. We thrive off of community. We thrive off of relationships. We don't thrive being alone. It's not good for man to be alone. So none of us should be alone. But when you grow up or when you experience certain situations that just break you to a point where you no longer believe that you are truly worth what you want, we compromise and we accept what is given to us. You know, I hate this saying that says, accept what you're given. I hate that saying because I don't believe we should accept what we're given. I believe we are given what we accept, because you can't give me something if I don't want to accept it. You can try to give it to me, but if I don't accept it, you can't give it to me. You don't accept what's given to you. No, you fight for what you want. You demand what you want. You set what you want, and you will only accept that. At what point do we stop pitting the needs of other people above the needs of ourselves? I don't encourage selfishness, but I encourage to look after yourself before you think you can even pour into someone else. Being lonely shouldn't be an excuse for you to have a guy around you in your space knowing that man is not good for you, knowing that man isn't who you're meant to be with. When you look at your future woman, when you look at the woman that you want to become and the woman you know you're meant to be, no matter how far she seems, no matter how unattainable she seems, is that woman with this guy that you're currently with? The title of this video is very clear. I'm with him because I'm lonely. I'm lonely. And that's the only reason why I'm with him. You're lonely in this time, but first you need to get to the root of your loneliness. Loneliness doesn't just come out of nowhere. And sometimes loneliness isn't about being alone, but it's just a sense of feeling alone even when you're with people. And sometimes we try and drown out that feeling by relationships, by sex, by drugs, by alcohol, by food, by partying, by doing anything just to distract that feeling inside of us. But I think you'll realize that no matter what you do, that feeling returns. That feeling is always there. That feeling doesn't just disappear because you get a quick fix. That feeling is there. Numbing that feeling with a guy who you don't believe you should be with is giving you short-term gratification, which is detrimental to you long-term. The longer you have something in a space that shouldn't be there, is the longer the thing that actually is meant to be in that space cannot come. If the right man is meant to come into your life, how is he meant to come when you've got the wrong man in your life? There's a space that is meant to be vacant, but it's currently occupied by the wrong thing. It's like a puzzle piece. The last piece of the puzzle is wrong, but you're trying to fit it in just to say that it's completed, when in reality, the actual piece is there, but you've got the wrong piece in. You just want to say that, okay, the puzzle is complete, but it's not complete because you've got the wrong piece in. And that's how a lot of us are living our lives. We have the wrong man in our lives. And so our life cannot move forward. You do realize that by having wrong people in your life, there's certain things that can't come into your life, and there's certain paths that you can't take because they hinder the path. They hinder your vision, so you can't see where you're truly meant to be going. The longer you look at yourself as who you are now and say, this is just me, this is my final form, is the longer you will stay in that position. You don't look at who you are, you look at where you're meant to be going. You look at who you're meant to be. And you act accordingly. Being with a man because you're lonely, there's a time for that. But there's also a time where you have to grow out of that and choose yourself. Choose the best for yourself. No one is going to give you the best for yourself. You have to take the best for yourself, and you have to give yourself that. Waiting for a man to love you, waiting for a man to show up for you, knowing that a man isn't good for you, but you're with him because you're lonely, and because without him you just feel like, well, what am I meant to be doing? And so you might as well be with him, or you're with him because you're insecure and he makes you feel confident, or not even that, you're just with him because you just don't want to be alone. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing? You're thinking too lowly of yourself. The person you date, the person you are in a situationship with, the person you're in a relationship with reflects what you think about yourself. If you are with someone and they have more negative traits than positive traits, that is a reflection of you. That's a reflection of what you think you're worth. And some of you may be watching me and thinking, oh, but he's the father of my children. Listen, honey, having a child by someone does not mean you have to stay with them if that is not God's will for your life. Having a child by someone does not mean you have to stay with them if that is not God's will for your life. That we all want to have a happy, stable home, but a stable home doesn't mean staying with someone who is not God's will for your life. That's not a stable home. That's just you trying to force a stable home. And so being with someone just because you're lonely is detrimental to your long-term progress. It's detrimental to your long-term goals. It is showing, especially when other people can see, oh, why are you with him? Or they question it, or they're looking at you like, no, this is not the person you're meant to be with. And you're constantly complaining about certain things when it comes to him, but you're not doing things to change, or you're not planning on leaving. People will look at you like, well, do you have much respect for yourself? Do you love yourself? Like, what do you actually think about yourself if this is the person you're willing to be with? And this all comes from a brokenness inside of us, a brokenness that makes us think it's fine. You just settle for this. You settle for the bare minimum. You settle for this guy because, well, at least he likes me. At least he's around me. At least I have little company. At least I have this, that, the other. But you're settling. And that little brokenness inside of you is telling you that it's okay. But you see, when we have a brokenness inside of us that we refuse to heal, it begins to speak. It begins to get loud. It begins to manifest in our life through our choices. Because choices are a result of who we are. And who we are is a result of what we've gone through. And if we are built up mainly off of trauma, that will begin to speak. But if we are built up mainly off of healing and positive experiences, that will begin to speak in our lives. Who you date is a reflection of who you are and what you think about yourself. So when you look at this partner you're with and you're only with him because you're lonely, you're only with him because you don't want to be alone, you have to think, what do I think about myself? Where is this coming from? Where is this need for me not wanting to be alone coming from? It's like you're so scared to be alone. You don't want to be by yourself. What does life look like when you're by yourself? Oh, there's no one to help me. There's no one to... The reality is, when you are a woman on assignment to become the best version of yourself, you have to go through a lot of seasons alone. And alone doesn't mean no one is around you, but it's a lone journey because you know what you need to focus on. You know that you need to do certain things to get to where you should be. And that means you can't be doing it with this man. You need to heal the brokenness that tells you that you need to be with him. I'm lonely. I don't want to be alone. Sometimes the cure to feeling lonely is to be alone. Get used to being alone. Learn yourself. Where is this brokenness coming from? Why do I always feel alone? Trace it back. Trace it back. Everything can be traced back. I love Freud because he always says everything comes from your childhood. Trace it back. Why do I feel so lonely that I need to be with a man that I know I shouldn't even be with? That I'm just allowing disrespect. I'm allowing this guy to treat me anyhow. I'm allowing him to do the bare minimum. I'm allowing him to live in my house. I'm allowing him to eat off me just because I don't want to be alone. Where is the brokenness coming from? This is a series called Diary of a Broken Woman because we are healing the broken parts of ourselves. But the first stage of this series is for me to probe questions, is to probe you to ask yourself certain things like, why am I like this? Why do I think like this? Why am I accepting this? Why do I think this is okay? This is the first stage of healing. You need to do this, the self-reflection. I'm lonely. Why am I lonely? Where does this loneliness come from? I feel so alone. I feel so bad about myself. I don't feel great about myself. I don't think I'm beautiful. I don't think I'm smart. I don't think I'm intelligent. I don't think I have that much to offer. So when someone comes into my life and they make me feel like I'm so much more than what I think about myself, then, I have to keep them around. But when I look at them separate to what I think about myself, they're not really that much. I don't think I should be with them, but I'm lonely. I have a man now and I haven't had one for a long time. If I let go of him, who will I have? Maybe this is the best I'm ever going to get. These thoughts are a reflection of you, what you think about yourself. This has nothing to do with the guy. Being lonely shouldn't be an excuse to degrade yourself by staying with a man you shouldn't be with, because that is degrading yourself. You are so much more than settling with a man you don't believe you should truly be with. Settling with a man because you're lonely. Settling with a man because you don't know who you are without him. And that's the thing. A lot of us have been with a man for so long. It's almost like your identities are merged and you don't know who you are without him. And because of that, you're scared to break away. But I truly believe there is a beauty in learning about yourself alone, in finding out who you are alone. Because how are you truly ever going to feel fulfilled and not feel that lonely feeling that you currently feel if you don't do the work? I think before 2021, I spent majority of my life feeling so lonely, so alone, feeling like no one truly loved me, feeling like no one sees me, feeling so overlooked by everyone in my life. And no matter who came into my life, I always felt like they preferred someone else over me, or they would always choose someone else, and no one would really choose me. And honestly, it's all a projection of what I felt about myself. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think I was smart. I didn't think I was intelligent. I didn't think that I was great. I honestly thought I was so average that any guy that came into my life would see that. And I was so scared of being seen at a certain degree that I would always hide behind a certain personality. But also, I was so happy that they actually liked me, that they wanted to be with me, because I didn't feel like I had much to offer. I was so lonely that the moment they came into my life and introduced me to fun, introduced me to a social life, it's like I just clung to them, because it's like, you've improved my life. My life was so boring. I was so lonely. No one really liked me. No one really saw me. No one really paid attention to me. And you're coming into my life giving me all of that. I have to keep you, because it's like you're giving me doses of endorphins. You're giving me doses of dopamine every time we meet, every time you're around me, every time I'm around you. And I can't let go of that, because if I let go of that feeling, what do I have left? I'm back to being alone. I'm back to being lonely. And this is a result of not building up your own life, and also a result of what you think about yourself. I'm lonely. So I'm with a guy. I probably shouldn't be with him. He's not really the best fit for me, but I'm lonely. What am I going to do about him? It's a reflection of having a low self-esteem, but you have to trace back to where this comes from. I'm all about tracing back and finding the root issue, finding the root cause. Why do you feel like you need to be with a man who you don't truly want to be with, but you're with because it's convenient? I think it's time we start choosing ourselves as women and choosing to actually go on the healing journey that we should. It's time for us to stop encouraging ourselves to stay broken, but to encourage ourselves to heal and to let go of that broken part of us. Sometimes we hold on to that brokenness because it's so familiar. I'm so used to being alone. I'm so used to no one preferring me. I'm so used to no one seeing me or choosing me that that's who I've identified as. I've identified as a lonely woman who no one chooses, who no one sees, who everyone overlooks, who no one really values. And when you take on that identity, you begin to make decisions based on that, and that's the issue. You've taken on a wrong identity. The identity that you have taken on, that, oh, I'm so lonely, no one likes me, no one prefers me, no one truly loves me, who's really ever been there for me? Every time I try and trust someone, they just break my trust. I can't trust anyone. No one likes me. People come into my life and they lie and deceive. I'm lonely. I'm so tired of being alone that I might as well just deal with what I have, because it's better the devil that I know. And that is the issue. It's made you take on the identity of being that type of woman, and it's made you make decisions that do not benefit you or do not benefit the woman you should be. You're making decisions that grant you short-term gratification, when in reality you should be making decisions that grant you long-term gratification. Even though it requires discipline and sacrifice, that will benefit you, that will take you far. But what we are doing now, the decisions we are making, are based on trauma, are based on the brokenness that is inside of us. We are making these decisions not because we love and believe in ourselves, but because we don't. We make these decisions because we feel broken in an area, and this is a result of that brokenness. Making wrong decisions, keeping men around us that we shouldn't keep around us. That is a result of a brokenness inside of you that you need to heal. And God is using me to highlight these things to you, because these are things I had to learn. I was keeping men in my life that would flat out tell me like, well, I can't really be loyal, it's just not in my nature. But silly me was thinking, well, at least he was honest, at least he's an honest man, I'll still stay with him because at least I could trust that he'll be honest with me, and I'd stay with him and we'd have a great time. And I'd be so delusional in thinking, well, as long as we have this nice little relationship, then I could just ignore everything else. I was with men who were dragging me down. They were criminals, and they were dragging me down, trying to get me into criminal activity. And I was silly enough to go along with it because they gave me attention, because I wasn't lonely, because I found it exciting. I found it fun. I found like, wow, someone is finally paying attention to me. Someone likes me. Someone wants to be around me. Someone prefers me. Someone chooses me. And so I started making decisions based on my brokenness, based on my low self-esteem, based on me not feeling great about myself. And it wasn't until I decided that, no, lakeishaa, I don't want to be this broken version. I don't want to keep making the same decisions that get me nowhere. I want to heal. And when I started embarking on this self-development journey from 2021, I realized that I really had a lot to heal. And I realized where all of this came from. It came from childhood. Feeling like I was always overlooked, feeling like I was always ignored. I was always told to be quiet. No one really preferred me. No one really wanted to be around me. No one really chose me. I felt like only my dad gave me that attention. And even though I still needed way more, I thought that men could give me that attention. Men can give me what I need. If I'm lonely, a man can give me that company. And that was all from my brokenness. And when I traced it back, I found out how I can heal. Of course, the Holy Spirit helps, but you also need practical things as well. Stop making the same decisions. Was it Einstein that said doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is madness? Choosing the same type of men, allowing the same type of things, making the same decisions and expecting a different result just because it's a different man is madness. Or as we say, it's a madness. You decide what type of life you have. based on your decisions. You don't have full control over everything, but you do have a lot of control. And if you keep making the same mistakes and choosing the same type of guys, you're going to have the same results. If you want to stay lonely and stay with low self-esteem and stay broken, then keep making the same decisions. But if you want to heal, you want to grow, you want to heal the broken parts of you, it's time to make a change. Trace back where that loneliness came from and begin to heal that part. Make different decisions. Build yourself up by the word of God. Build yourself up with motivational videos. Build yourself up. Get rid of the man that shouldn't be around you. Endure the loneliness for a season whilst building yourself up and being intentional. Fill your life. Fill your life with things that make you happy so that you don't need to rely on a man to give you happiness. If you don't have enough money, find ways to make more income. If you don't have any hobbies, find hobbies. If you feel like you have no friends, find ways to make friends. You need to build your life so that a man can't come and feel like he's giving you everything. A man can contribute, but he shouldn't make your life. He shouldn't be the sole reason why you're happy. That's God's position. But you do need to fill your life. Like I said, this is Diary of a Broken Woman, an ongoing series where I will be highlighting topics that I believe women need to heal from, and also topics that I've healed from, and also just highlighting areas in your life that you may not even notice. But if you think that is something you'd be interested in, then please turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video. Subscribe, like, comment, and also share this video with someone that you think it could bless. But thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.